The George Zimmerman case, the missing link for Trayvon Martin. The problem that I see is that the prosecution and the defense is following George Zimmerman's story as though it could be true. It can't be true. Logically, it doesn't make any sense. A real person that has experience in fighting and dealing with people in stressful situations would understand that. The only problem is that the attorneys do not understand that small bit of trauma that Trayvon went through his last minutes of life. George Zimmerman has been telling stories that makes a little bit of sense, but it's just not correct. Like Trayvon jumping out of the bushes. Well, Trayvon didn't jump out of a bush because they realized there was no bushes there. But what he did do, he surprised George Zimmerman. And that's where George Zimmerman gets the concept, or had the concept at first, and changed the story when he realized that there was no bushes there. He was surprised. The second issue is George getting his head banged on the cement. Okay? Anyone knows, has ever been in a fight or seen a fight where a person gets hit in the nose, that they're going to usually fall down and hit their head. Okay? Trayvon only punched him one time. And there's a reason why he punched him. Again, another clue is George indicating that Trayvon was reaching for his weapon. Reaching for my gun, he says. He keeps on saying that. While the prosecution is trying to prove that he wasn't. The prosecution is trying to prove that he wasn't reaching for his pistol due to the fact that the pistol was in the back of his pants. And there's no way that Trayvon could have reached for or even knew it was there. And there was no fingerprints on the gun. But again, that's a clue. Trayvon was reaching for my gun. So Trayvon confronts him, and he asks, "Are you following me? Why are you following me?" And George Zimmerman answers, "I'm not following you," which is a lie. Trayvon knew he was following him. He's been following him for quite a while. So he knew he was a liar. He knew he couldn't be trusted. Only thing George Zimmerman had to say is, "I'm the neighborhood watch. How can I help you, son? Are you lost?" But no. He reaches for Trayvon while going into his back pocket and reaching for something. He said his cell phone. Didn't know where it was. Trayvon thought it was either a knife or a gun. It was a gun. Trayvon hits him in the nose, breaking his nose. And if anyone ever had a nose job, when you get your nose broken, you get the side effects are 2 black eyes. So he received 2 black eyes, but he broke his nose. George Zimmerman fell to the floor, bumping his head, and that was the end of the fight. The next portion of this dilemma was a struggle for the gun that was already out in George Zimmerman's hand. Trayvon was struggling, and they both were screaming because the situation was dire. No one had total control of the gun. Trayvon, again, with George Zimmerman's clue, he was reaching for my gun. He was trying to get to my gun because his gun was in his hand. The 45-second struggle where Mr. Good comes out his house and says, "You guys, you all need to stop fighting." They're both hollering, "Help! Help me!" Trayvon's mother hears Trayvon. George Zimmerman's mother hears George Zimmerman. Because we're in a fight, a real fight, not imaginary fight, but we're in a fight where, or a struggle, which they were, more of a struggle for the gun. Are you just going to hear one person scream out? They both were in dire needs. They both were scared that one or the other was going to get that gun. So they both were screaming until the fact that George Zimmerman regained control. And what did Trayvon say? You got me, man. You got me. I surrender. I surrender. And that's when George Zimmerman shot him in cold blood. I surrender, man. We've been in school. We've seen kids get in a fight, and one guy says, you got me, man. You got me. You don't say that after you get shot in your chest. This is no cartoon. When you get punched in the chest, you hold your chest. Why would he hold his hands out after he got shot with a hollow point bullet in his heart and say, you got me, man? Wouldn't he be like this? Holding his chest? The clues that George Zimmerman puts out is the case. And then, in his subconscious mind, he had the gun. He said to Trayvon, and maybe in his mind or maybe out verbally, you're going to die tonight, motherfucker. Because Trayvon never had control of the gun. He would never have said that. That's the missing link. George is saying he got shot after he made that statement. He gave up after he got shot. I'm saying he gave up before he got shot. That's the only common sense there is. The only common sense.